Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new NVIDIA daily update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over NVIDIA stock. Let's go over what happened to the stock today, what we can expect moving forward after yesterday's pretty gigantic red candle. And yeah, let's talk about it. If you enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice and I am not a financial advisor. And of course, if you do enjoy my technical analysis, I do share my thoughts with my members every single day in my YouTube membership, with that link, of course, being down below in the description of the video. Should be the first link in the video. We'd love to have you, right? Again, I constantly share my thoughts with my members throughout the trading day as the market is open, of course, with updates, et cetera, every single day. So definitely check it out. For $3 a month, right? You get access to that at the first tier, which is essentially Tesla updates plus any other stocks that I find. Or for $5, you get access to everything in the first tier plus NVIDIA daily updates in there as well. Again, it's not expensive. I'm not trying to make it some crazy barrier. It's just mainly to keep out trolls and annoying people, to be completely honest with you. But with that being said, jumping into it, NVIDIA closing the day pretty much flat, down 0.02%, closing at just above $140 per share, which obviously compared to the market, pretty much flat as well. QQQ up 0.02%. So again, not a whole lot to write home about today in the market. Very, despite some volatility today in the intraday, ultimately we ended up pretty much closing at the exact same place as yesterday, even for Tesla stock. So what does this mean moving forward for NVIDIA? Well, again, despite us being flat on the close, we still had some volatility. We had that push up to about 144, which is what I told my members this morning. I thought it'll happen by Friday, but we got it today instead. And then we actually ended up, which I actually used that opportunity to exit some positions, but I also sold some cover calls, which I already bought back for like 80% off, which was pretty great. But nonetheless, we also had to move to the downside, right? And this move to the downside was pretty important that we held it. And the fact that we pushed back up and closed at about 140 is not bad, right? Why is that not bad? Well, there's several reasons why that's not. In fact, I would argue even potentially good. So essentially when the other day when we were all the way up here, we were well above the Bollinger Bands. And I mentioned how, there's like 90 to 95% of the time the stock stays within the Bollinger Bands, right? Usually getting this far out of the Bollinger Bands or just really any bands of the same sort, it's rare. It happens. It's like a 5% chance that it not only goes out, but especially stays out for an extended period of time and continues moving in that respective direction. But it's not often. Not often does that happen. So the odds are not in your favor for that to continue going that way, at least right away, right? And that's exactly what happened. We had that massive red candle. And then we essentially just today, as we went to the pretty much low of the day, closer to about $137.50 per share, we reverted right back to the mean of the Bollinger Bands, which is that white line in the center, which is good. That means to me that right now the stock is, at least on the short-term basis, it's not overextended, but it's not underextended really either. It's pretty much right in the middle, but arguably in the more bullish perspective, because when you're in the upper half of the Bollinger Bands, you're more bullish than bearish. When you're in the bottom half of the Bollinger Bands, you're more bearish than bullish. Pretty simple stuff. And we're obviously in the upper half of it. So that's a good sign for bulls. And as if that's not enough, something else I used to kind of give me more confidence about that is, of course, my other two bands, which we have the market bias, which of course was red this whole time, obviously indicating bearish momentum. But now that we broke above it and we're back into it and essentially retesting this area now as, clearly some support with, the wick down below us, it's a green band, which is a nice sign to see. And the other band, of course, is the EMA cloud. Same idea, reverted back to the mean on the EMA cloud, which I was talking about back on Monday. And, we're holding it. We're holding it and so far turning it into a support. Now, obviously, things can go south. Things can potentially not be so great, of course, et cetera. For instance, for now, I don't know what happened in the market, but we're down about 0.5%. Pretty much as I started recording this, I don't know what caused that to occur. Nice little volume spike actually on some selling pressure here. I mean, it's still low volume ultimately, but nonetheless, some decent volume pressure coming in here across the market as a whole. It seems like I'm not really sure what is causing that. Something just out of nowhere happened. No idea. We'll see. But nonetheless, moving back to NVIDIA, right? We're holding these levels is the point I'm trying to make, which is good. Now, obviously, we're not out of the woods yet. For instance, the stochastic does have that bearish crossover, right? Which is potentially some signs of concern, of course, but I don't think this is going to be an overall massive sign of concern in the sense that we have to pretty much crash from here. We have to just, completely and utterly make our way, well below these current levels. To me, it means more of the fact that, especially as long as we continue holding these bands as support, it means the fact that we're probably also not really going up to the north side, if you will, anything too spectacularly either, right? We're not going to rocket to, all-time highs probably too soon, as long as this remains cross bearish, in my opinion, of course. So that's kind of my overall perspective on NVIDIA right now moving forward and kind of the way I'm personally eyeballing it right now. But of course, we'll see how it plays out. I'm very curious to see what kind of news came out and why we're randomly moving downwards in after hours. I don't know if something came out or this is just something completely random. I'm not seeing anything. So I don't know. Anyways, it is what it is. But yeah, that's my overall kind of main overall perspective right now. Obviously, you know, you have to remember this area that we're pretty much turning into support right now was an area of resistance before. Like I mentioned, if you go to the 4-hour chart, for instance, you know, if I go over here, regular trading hours, right, you know, you can see this area right here, right, massive area of resistance, constantly rejecting us over and over and over. And now we're essentially turning this area right here into what should be a support. So in other words, I can take this, I can draw it like this, and it kind of gives you a general perspective of how, you know, constantly every time we came into this little massive rectangle, constant rejection over and over and over. Yeah, what's going on with NVIDIA after hours? Something weird is happening. I'm not sure what it is. But the opposite was true as well. Now that we came back down into it, of course, fingers crossed, you never know for sure, especially with whatever's going on after hours, you know, we are holding this general vicinity that was a support and essentially an area of supply as hopefully demand moving forward. So let's see how this plays out, obviously moving forward as well. But that's my kind of general analysis, my, you know, kind of very basic, simple, to the point-ish, if you will, analysis right now moving forward on NVIDIA stock without overcomplicating it too much as I bring back these indicators, right? So let's see how this plays out. Let's see how this plays out. You know, this is good, bad, not bad. Who knows? Again, still very confused what's happening after hours here. That's very strange. I mean, some news should have came out. Like, I don't know what is causing this. Biden to an, that's a while ago. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. Who knows? But yeah, so overall, pretty decent stuff still. I'm not too worried, right? As long as we continue holding this level. And even if we do lose this level, I think worst case scenario, we drop back down probably closer to the mid to low 130s, right? Which is where this massive trend line also sits as a massive area of support that we've already bounced off of it before over here. Obviously, which is a good sign. And of course, potentially down here as well. So let's see how this plays out ultimately moving forward. But again, my only real main concern is, I mean, first of all, after hours, I don't know what's happening there, but also the stochastic crossing down to the bearish side. So those are my main two, I would say, quote unquote, concerns, if you will. But again, let's see how this plays out moving forward on Friday. Don't forget, the market is also closed on Thursday tomorrow. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, overall, I do expect chop around this general vicinity, pretty much around today's low-ish to potentially as high as about 145-ish. I do expect chop around there for the next bit, honestly. So let's see how that actually means moving forward. Now, going over to options flow, taking a look at NVIDIA. Pretty mixed, actually, surprisingly. Actually, well, percentage-wise, it's the same, but the actual flow number itself on the calls was much, much higher. So that's very interesting. Definitely some puts came in towards the end of the day here for next week. So maybe someone knew something. Clearly, we're dropping after hours right here in AMD. I mean, everything is kind of dropping right now. So clearly someone knew something was happening because a lot of puts came in for next week expiration, 120K, 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 120K. So something someone knows clearly. I'm not sure what happened there. But nonetheless, overall, you know, definitely still pretty much mixed throughout the day. In terms of confirmed options flow, let's see if NVIDIA is anywhere on the list. It is actually in the 25 million confirmed bullish flow towards the end of the day, which is obviously really, really good. But yeah, that's kind of my general analysis. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find anything that's causing this drop. I mean, we're not going to be dropping 1.2% after hours for literally no reason, I'm sure, surely. So surely something, some news or something came out. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Let me know what you think down below. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. And as usual, I'll see you on Friday because again, market is closed tomorrow. Peace.